Ever wonder how Shoto characters compare across different fighting games? Well, I took on the unique challenge of playing 10 different characters from 10 different games. We'll dive into their unique abilities, strategies, and how they differ from each other. Now, I'm not going to go into a long-winded definition of Shoto. It's like Ryu and Ken. Oh, you want more than that? Okay. It's a playstyle archetype in fighting games. And while it's got its start in Street Fighter, I'm going to talk about characters in other games that are of a similar style. So there's not a single Street Fighter character that appears on this list. To break it down further, these characters include 3 types of attacks. They have a projectile, a dragon punch, or an anti-air where the character does an uppercut style move, a tatsu, or an attack that has forward movement. Now the rules are no main characters. Ones I play occasionally are fine, but nobody I've put a lot of focus into. At least 30 minutes of playtime, about 5 to 10 minutes were in training mode. While I focused on these 3 moves, I ultimately rated the characters based on their playstyle overall and how much I enjoyed them. With that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10, Hotaru Futaba, Garou, Mark of the Wolves. I enjoy Hotaru's character design and fighting style. Her projectiles, the Haki Sho, are solid. It's fast and doesn't have a lot of recovery. Her anti-air, Tenshin Sho, has the same motion as the Dragon Punch, but he uses the kick button. It is a diagonal hit, which I tend to prefer. The Sosho Shin, which is a quarter circle back, so opposite of the projectile motion in this case, and it does cause her to hit multiple times. It is, however, unsafe and often blocked. It is a little slow, so it can be easily seen and countered. What got her in the number 10 spot was how short her range is on most of her attacks. It's frustrating to whiff so many times, because the range just isn't there. Number 9, Jago, Killer Instinct. His projectile, Indokuken, is fast and doesn't seem to have a very long recovery. He can even charge it to beat out other projectiles. The anti-air, Tiger Fury, is almost the same as the Dragon Punch in how it's performed and how it operates. The Tatsu, Wind Kick, is the opposite motion of the Tiger Fury, but with the kick button. It is a simple cross-screen jump kick. Each move works well with each other, though I would say his projectiles are the best, and the jump kick is the least useful in this set. Jago is the closest to being like Ken and Ryu. His projectiles are fast and can be spammed, and the jump kick in is quick. The Dragon Punch is the most similar. Honestly, considering the monstrous nature of the game, I was hoping for him to be a little more outside of the box, which is why he hit 9th place. Number 8, Dmitry Maximov, Vampire Savior, the Lord of Vampire. Now, Morgan is my main, which is why I decided to use Dmitry for this list. His Firebat Chaos Flare is a fine projectile, though has some recovery. He can use it in the air too, so it gives a lot of versatility. The EX version has more damage and can beat back other projectiles. His anti-air, Demon Cradle, just goes straight up and down, so he must be right on top of the opponent. If you do it during a dash, then it can be diagonal. That makes it less useful as a response to a jump in, unless you have room to dash. He does vanish during his dashes, and then does the diagonal attack, so that's good. Just as useful, I'd say, as some of the other anti-airs on this list. The forward movement attack, Bat Spin, also allows him to vanish and appear, so he can escape tight situations. But it can be easily blocked. It isn't the safest, has its uses, but it's the lowest point in the set. His attacks include teleportation, which is a great addition. When you take jump block into account, he isn't as good as he could be. I think his setup is fun, but takes work to get the spacing and speed correct, which is why he's number 8 on this list. Number 7, Haomaru, Samurai Shodown. His projectile, the Cyclone Slash. were fine. When they hit, they became a fire tornado, which is a great addition to the projectile. His anti-air, the Crescent Moon Slash, seems very picky about angles, as it changes depending on which punch you use. Also uses a blade and does a fire animation. All of his moves, honestly, look really neat. His Tatsu is the Earthquake Slice, where he jumps forward and brings his sword down onto the opponent. This move is the opposite of the Crescent Moon Slash in that the Z motion is done backwards rather than forwards, with the same buttons as the release. So it took a little bit to get used to. And also, it is another one of those moves where you have to be careful about trajectory because he will literally jump over the opponent and do it behind them if you use the wrong one. If given more than 30 minutes to learn the trajectory of his attacks, I think he would have fared better. His projectile is great and the best part of his set. His other two either require you to be right on top of the enemy to get the trajectory right, otherwise you'll jump over them, or that you use the correct button. Like, it's not as forgiving as some of the other characters, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. Or I should say, what he winds up doing in these cases is just dancing around the opponent rather than hitting them. And that is why Haohmaru is number 7. Number 6. Hide Kido, Under the Night, In Birth, EXE late. The Black Orbiter, his projectile, is very fast with great recovery. The combat is faster in this game in general, so it fits really well with his playstyle. The Red-clad Craver is a classic Dragon Punch move done with his sword, also very well done. The Vacant Shift Tatsu has him jumping forward and swinging, causing more red whirls. What makes this game really fun is how fast it is. The moves are classically done and fit well together. The characters are enjoyable if you like any anime fighter. Hyde is very well-rounded and fun to play if you like, as I said, the fast gameplay. His ability to do chip damage that other characters don't have is a neat feature for the archetype. Like Minnie, his ability to mix up and punishments for mistakes brings him back down and levels him out. This is why he is number 6 on this list. Number 5. Kai Kisk, Guilty Gear Strive. Kai has multiple projectiles. Stun Edge, a regular charged, and aerial. This increases his potential for routing the opponent. His anti-air, the Vapor Thrust, can launch the opponents away, and as usual, he does need to be pretty close to hit. The Tatsu is Foudre Arc, which looks like an overhead, but it isn't. Still, it's good when used carefully. Like quite a few of the other characters, if you're too brazen when you use it, it can be blocked and you'll be punished. He is great for the middle game, with several good lower and upper moves. I think if his Tatsu was an overhead, he'd be a little bit better, but overall, he's a very solid Shoto. Doesn't stand out in a significant way on this list, which is why he's number 5. Number 4, The Last Blade 2, Kaid. His projectile, the Morning Star Squall, goes across the floor. Can be easily jumped over, but might catch them not blocking down. The Shinmei Oite, which is a diagonal projectile, helps give him that versatility. His anti-air, the Morning Star Wind Fang, can hit twice, and it's a solid uppercut. His Tatsu is the Morning Star Fillet Flash, where he runs forward and hits 3 times. And the stronger version will knock the opponent down. When it hits, it's good. When it misses or is blocked, it's bad. What I like about it is he can use this attack to escape bad situations, like going underneath an opponent that is jumping, but isn't close enough to get hit by the anti-air, right? You can just dash underneath them. It is a great Tatsu, suffers from the issues of some of the other ones, so you'll want to use it carefully. Kaid's moveset is quick. He can move around the map with both ground and air projectiles, which gives him options for how to attack. Overall, the moves work well together, but he's disadvantaged at long ranges, and finding an in can be tougher than some of the others. However, due to that versatility, that's why I've made him number 4. Number 3, Breaker's Revenge, Sho Kamui. I admit I was surprised that Breaker's Revenge got this much higher. The Reko Ha projectile is quick and doesn't have a long recovery. The Kurine Sandan Geri, or the anti-air, is done with a quarter circle motion rather than the Z, which is a diagonal upward move, and hits multiple times depending on strength. His Tatsu, the Kurenai Sandan Geri, is his standout move in that he will wind up on the other side of the opponent, which creates cross-up situations and has the advantage of getting him out of a tight space, or he can get out of the corner and move the other opponent into the corner that way. What's nice about Sho is all of his moves are quarter circles. None of them use the Z motion. His moves are easy to bust out, he's really quick to learn, and as I said, his Tatsu can put him on the other side of the opponent. So he is a solid character overall, quick to learn with great supers, which is why he's number 3 on this list. Number 2, Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising, Gran. Gran is a solid Shoto with moves that are easy to learn and strong. His projectile, the Regenleave, has 3 types, a fast light, a cancelable medium, and a 3-hit heavy. So they give you options for how to catch people off guard. His anti-air, the Rising Sword, is safe depending on which version you use, and what's most important is making sure you're not blocked or whiffed, as it can be punished like many of the other anti-airs on this list. His Tatsu, the Overdrive Surge, is a simple dash, sometimes with his foot out to hit the opponent. Perhaps because it's just a quick dash forward, it feels safer than some of the other ones listed. I've been able to convert it into combos more than a lot of the other characters. I recorded this set before Rising came out and then re-recorded it after the release of the game. Gran is amazing in both. His Tatsu seems more useful than some of the others on this list, and gives him a fast move that he can work from. So many times having an in makes the character feel more well-rounded for me. And that's why he got number 2. Number 1, King of Fighters 15, Iori Yagami. Iori has a ground projectile, Shiki Yami Barai, which can be easily jumped over, but also can catch people off guard potentially as they may not be blocking low. His anti-air is the Shiki Oniyaki, which is a vertical jump, so the opponent has to be right on top of him, but it seems like he has a lot more range on that than some of the other games. And it can be multi-hit as well. He has a couple of dash moves, the Shiki Sumakushi, where he hops forward and does a flaming swipe downward, and also a dash and grab, Shiki Kototsuki, which technically it is a grab move, so maybe not quite right for this list, but I just wanted to point out he has multiple different dash options, which can keep the opponent guessing. In that one, he grabs them, throws them down to the ground, and releases energy that explodes into purple sparks. While normally I'm not into ground projectiles, I think with Iori, it works with his style. Even the straight up and down anti-air has more range than some of the others, and in some cases, he can do it 3 times in a row, moving across the screen, so it gives him more versatility. He dashes around, which gives him speed, and he's able to get out of tight situations better. All in all, between these sorts of additions to the moves that, as I said, wound up on characters that are lower on this list, because of him and how they're put together, it wound up pushing him to the top of the list. He has all the moves. And then when you add in his extras, it just elevates it to an extremely fun playstyle. I dare say I had the most fun playing Iori, except for maybe Gran, on this list. So let me know in the comments if I left anybody out, or if you disagree with my list. I'd love to hear your ideas on what the 10 best Shoto are across fighting games. Now, I'm a lifelong fighting game fan with a love of both retro and modern games. Whether it be competition or the lore, I love them. That sounds like something you'd enjoy? Make sure you subscribe, you like. Thank you for watching, and take care.